You're in the 06010. Focus. Fantasy Focus.
What's good, friends? Welcome into Fantasy Focus Football, presented by Little Caesars, alongside Field Yates and Mike Clay. My name is Daniel Dopp. Excited to bring you another very fun Friday show. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just wearing a normal black t-shirt, but we can actually put logos like through on like the graphics.
Yes.
Logos. So a little extra graphic on here today.
Yeah, look at that.
Did you buy that at
product.
the ESPN store?
I did a long time ago. Like right when I got here, you know,
Oh.
you have all that excitement. I've been working at ESPN, buy a bunch of merchandise, stuff for family and everything, which I still have that same excitement.
Did you buy it distressed, or did you buy it and that was like a full solid red and you've washed it so much?
Oh,
that's
it was
what
like
it's come
this.
to?
It was like this, although I have worn it many times because it's a good fit.
It is. It looks like a good
Feels good.
fit.
It's a good
I like
fit.
it.
And on top of that, the ESPN store reopened
It
here
did.
in Bristol maybe, a month ago? Probably a little bit less than that. And I'm sure you guys were like, wow, that's pretty sweet that you guys get excited about something so boring. But it'd been closed for like 5 years.
Yes,
I
it
think
had been.
since the beginning of the pandemic, they shut it down. And it's awesome to have it back. It brings even more vitality to this campus.
Yeah,
Agreed.
That's right. I love it for sure.
I love it too.
We love our
Almost as much as we love having our guy Eric Moody in the
Yes.
chat, being able to hang out with everybody right now. If you go hang out with Eric Moody, follow him on social media at Eric N. Moody. But if you have any questions in our YouTube chat, he can help you out with that. Also, quick shout out to our friends over at Trophy Smack. Visit TrophySmack.com. Use the promo code FOCUS10 for 10% off your order to get a belt or a chain or a number of things, a toilet seat, whatever you want to be able to get into.
Do we hear about Poem shirts?
You know what?
Shirts?
We're working on that.
We're working
Yes.
on it.
Working on that?
We're working
Okay.
on it, Mike Clay.
Need it.
Speaking of, I think I would have rather watched the New England Patriots wear Poem shirts than whatever those
Oh, you don't like
uniforms
them?
were. I did
Okay,
not
I like
the
Matt.
fit.
Let's have a conversation
Here's
about
the
this.
thing. I'm colorblind, as I've told you guys before. They looked just gray to me. Were they gray
really?
uniforms?
They were not
They were
gray.
purple.
They were not purple.
Wait, are they?
I think they were blizzard blue. They were nor'easter uniforms.
Okay, well, it didn't work for Daniel's eyes.
All right, so let's do some grading here. Our producer Tyler and I were having this conversation before the show, as he knows that I have a great affinity for uni stuff.
You do?
By the way, shout out Uni Swag. What an incredible run that website had, and just I loved reading it, and I'm going to miss it. I liked the Patriots uniforms last night for a specific reason.
Okay.
I think the Patriots regular uniforms are kind of average.
Okay.
So the curveball,
Like switching it up.
It's like, you know, when the Dolphins change things up, I'm like, I love their uniforms. I don't really want them to change things up. So when the Patriots do it, I think it's actually okay. What do you guys think?
I usually you have me a Matt. You
like Matt? Yes.
Like Matt
You
stuff.
bring out the Matt. It's hard
Matt
for me
helmets.
to not like it. They look pretty sharp. So
Agreed.
yeah. I was okay with it. Nothing super spectacular. They were fairly plain. It's not like they had anything wild going on. So
I thought they were fine. I just don't think that I got it because I couldn't visually see everything. So it's like maybe I'm missing out on something. That's all.
No, you didn't
Yeah,
miss
that's
out on
all.
anything. Remember when the Cardinals wore the Desert Storm uniforms?
Yes.
And Mike, was it you? One of you was very spirited about that one.
which one was it?
the
Desert
Cardinals
Storm.
where they had it looked
Oh,
like
yeah, I
little
don't think I
pieces
like
of
those
dirt
ones.
on their uniform.
Yeah, it looked like they were just dirty jerseys.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
you.
we talked
yeah,
about
that. Was
that.
you in the text chain.
Didn't love that. Did not love that at all.
Well,
You know
how
what
about
else
the
I
game,
didn't
though?
love was watching the New York Jets play on Thursday Night Football. Let's dive into this Thursday Night Football game, and we can be pretty quick about it. There was one New York Jet, I feel like, that did some things, and even that wasn't great. But Breece Hall, it was tough. I mean, what are you going to say when
Well,
you're the only player on this offense going up against a difficult matchup in the Patriots?
I guess the story for the Jets is if you had the stones to start Justin Fields, it paid off for you, right? Justin Fields, especially on the opening drive.
This is the recipe for
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good,
Justin
though.
Fields, Breece Hall was limited to 8.4 fantasy points. We gave you the buyer beware warning
did.
yesterday. Mike
That-
talked about it on the show. This Patriots run defense is excellent once again. We can now update the stat. No running back has reached 59 rushing yards against the Patriots all season because Breece Hall got to 58.
2 in a row over 50 though.
That's right. So maybe some cracks right there
Yeah,
in that
that's
Patriots
right.
run defense, but just 2 catches for 6 yards. When you have a mobile quarterback, it tends to take away from the rushing upside of your top running back.
Yep.
The Jets are a mess in the passing game right now, but Justin Fields is actually okay. I don't know how many people were actually starting Justin Fields, but he was fine last night. The story of the game, though, was on the Patriots side of the ball.
For sure.
And Travion Henderson.
Yeah, baby.
Well, it happened. Let's at least go that far, right?
I'm going to say it's happening because I'm going to will it to happen.
Okay, good. Travion Henderson had the game of his very brief NFL life so far.
Yep.
He scores 32.3 fantasy points with a hat trick of touchdowns. How about this? 24 opportunities, 19 rushes, and 5 receptions, 1 receiving touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns. His rushing efficiency was not great. It was like
You know what this was?
3.35.
Yeah. This is Christian McCaffrey 202025. That's what this was.
That's what this looks like?
Yeah.
So, I mean, 2 rushing touchdowns, that's a lot for CMC this year, right? Because that's the one thing he's 7 touchdowns. It's not like he's on JT's level.
Right.
But otherwise, 3.3 yards per carry on a huge carry total of 19. And then 5 catches, 5 of 5 targets for 31 yards and a touchdown. Very CMC-like.
Like that.
Which we'll take it, right? I mean, we'll take it. So
Yeah,
if you
of course
started
you will.
them, you are thrilled about Travion Henderson, who, so here's, I think that it's great. Let's celebrate this. If you started Travion Henderson, you're off to a remarkable start in your fantasy matchup this weekend.
What did the rest of the backfield look like? Was there anyone that even came close to
Dearness Johnson played a little bit. I think it was like 81%.
It was 90% of the snaps for Henderson. By
Love that.
Terrell Jennings was active, which was an interesting curveball because we thought if he's healthy enough to go, maybe he'd handle some of the carries, but he did not play in this game. It was just Dearness Johnson when Travion needed a break here or there, but 90% of the snaps.
Yeah, so he was excellent last night. He was very available last night. He was amazing. If you started them, you have a gigantic head start on your opponent to begin the week. I think what we should do now as we spin things forward here is kind of establish, at least in my eyes, what the ceiling and the floor are for him for the final 7 weeks of the season, and for our purposes, the final 6 weeks of the season in fantasy football. I don't think the ceiling, unfortunately, is playing 80 to 90% of the snaps. Obviously, Ramondre Stevenson, when he's back, is going to have a role. I think the floor has unquestionably grown over the past 3 weeks, right? I don't think if you're the Patriots, you can have games. And there was a game not that long ago in which he played 14 snaps, right? This needs to be closer to 50-50. I really do have a part of me that believes that Ramondre Stevenson is going to end up playing more snaps and handle more carries the rest of the season once he is healthy. But I still think that is how this is going to shake out. But the good news is for Travion Henderson is that he's at least shown enough to earn more opportunities. That I think
Definitely.
the floor is probably somewhere around like RB 25 to 30, which depending on league size could get you into the flex conversation.
Yeah, he needs to be in that 15 touch range. If he's getting 10 touches, people are going to riot. Like, it's just unacceptable. I mean, it's going to cost him games. The level he's playing at, especially in the passing game, he's a playmaker. I don't know. So
Clearly more
I will
explosive.
be shocked. I think that I hate to use this comp again that I made yesterday, but it should be kind of like the Bucky Irving, Rashad White situation last year. It should flip-flop to an extent where you have, you use Rashad in certain spots. He had a role. He scored 8 touchdowns last year, but Bucky Irving became the lead back in that offense. And I feel like that's the direction New England needs to go. This is a team that should have they're the favorites for the 1 seed in the AFC, could win the Super Bowl. I mean, they have aspirations. So you got to use your playmakers. I'll be shocked if he's not the 1A.
Okay, so when they first drafted him, my initial take was like, and I squatted on this for like 4 months, was like, this is going to be this year's Bucky Irving, where he begins the season behind Ramondre Stevenson, and then at some point he flips the script and it's the Travion Henderson show. Maybe it's because I'm too invested in him to be totally confident and like stick my neck out there and say, here we go, baby. Stefania may have nailed her hot take on Wednesday or Tuesday, which was that he's going to be a top 10 running back the rest of the season. Stock is up. That's where I'll land for right now. Stock is up for Travion.
Stock is up after a 32-point game, back-to-back games over 28 points, found the end zone 2 times in back-to-back games, and next week he gets the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, boy.
So we're going to see where we're at with Ramondre Stevenson coming back, but after 2 massive games, getting the Bengals, like this run might continue into next week, even if Ramondre is back with the way that Bengals defense
Yeah,
plays.
I think we're going to have to start him no matter what next week. I mean, I don't know how.
Probably have to try it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt with that matchup. We'll probably have him
Even
inside the
if
top
Ramondre's
20,
back.
even with Stevenson. The only other thing I'll mention here is Stephon Diggs. Another good game for him.
Great.
11 targets, 9 catches, a $105. Didn't score, but he had a touchdown in 3 straight before that. He's been a little all over the map. He has 15-plus fantasy points in 2 straight now, but he was averaging 10.7 the prior 4 games. So he's kind of been – he had like a couple big games to open the season, but now he's been – then he slid for a while, and now he's back up. So, but number 1 target for one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. We could say that safely now. Drake May is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, so he's in a good spot moving forward. The only bad thing is I traded him to Dan Graziano, and I started Drake May, and he started Stephon Diggs last night, so I'm at a deficit going into the rest of the weekend because he got 19. I only got 15
and a
Drake
half.
May, who kept letting Trevion run it in, which was not cool. But anyway.
I don't know. Do you think it's a good sign? It hurts in the moment. Is it a good sign for Drake May's fantasy value that you leave with the bitter taste in your mouth when he goes for nearly 15.44 fantasy points.
It's all about fantasy points, okay?
That's right.
It's all about fantasy points.
Obviously, he's playing great, but Drake May, yes. The same line that we used a moment ago about who they play next, the Bengals, applies to Drake May.
Sure it does. Let's go.
All right, let's move ahead and talk about the rest of our Week 11 preview, Part 2. In case you missed Part 1, you can go back and listen to yesterday's show. Mike Clay, I'm going to start with you as I started with Field yesterday.
So equitable of you.
Try to be.
All right. Well, my first topic is the tight end situation in Tampa Bay. Let's talk about Cade Otton.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
Let's talk a little bit about Cade Otton. Look, career high 12 targets last week. Actually was a career high for him to hit 12 in that game.
That's huge.
That's notable. Season highs and catches with 9, yards with 82, and fantasy points with 17.2. You look at his first 4 games of the season, he averaged 2.8 targets and 2.4 fantasy points per game. He was completely useless, got dropped. But then the injury started.
Yeah.
Bucky Irving.
Yep.
Mike Evans.
Yep.
Chris Godwin.
Yep.
Last 5 games, guys.
Still no Jalen McMillan.
Still no Jalen McMillan. 7.4 targets and 12.2 fantasy points per game.
That's good.
Remember, this isn't the first time we've seen this. We had a month or so last year where Godwin and Evans were out, and we saw the same thing from Cade Otton, and then they got healthy, and he sunk right back down. I know the offense hasn't been as good this season. That was his first top 10 of the season last week. I think as long as the guys are injured, Godwin's not back, McMillan's not back, he's going to be in this tight end one conversation. However, guys, this is a brutal matchup.
Really?
Are you ready? Check this out.
Oh, I love check this out.
Check this out.
Check this out. Check this out.
Check this out.
It's time to check this out.
It's always the football.
The football gets me every time. I got to be honest.
Every
It's
time.
so good.
Athlete.
I wish we could cut up the other stuff. We filmed like 100 things.
So many things.
Just a few of them.
I love it. I love check this out. All right, what am I checking out, Mike?
All right, we're checking this out. The Bills, his opponent this week, have allowed the fewest targets, catches, yards, and fantasy points to tight ends this season.
Wow.
Only one tight end has reached 8 points against them. That was the legendary and future Hall of Famer Travis Kelce, who got to 12.6.
Wow.
So if you figure doing some Buffalo Bills against the tight end math here, you're thinking, all right, Cade Otton's not quite Travis Kelce. You're probably getting maybe 8-9 points if on a good day against them. You start that guy in fantasy? Probably not. Probably not. So I would say
Rondé Gadsden versus Cade Otton decision, and I think you might have just
I
made
think
it.
that's
Yeah,
a
I think
fully
so.
healthy. Gadsden's
Gadsden's
full
gonna
of
play
practice.
this week.
That makes the decision for me. But yeah, it's funny when I started writing this about Otton, I'm like, okay, he's a back
Looking
end tight
good.
end one, and then you look at close at the Bills, how they've just dominated that position, and you're just like,
I wonder
nope,
what
this
that
is not the week.
It's always I'm always curious why teams are so dominant against tight ends for fantasy purposes because there's so few of them. Is it a schematic thing for the Bills? Like
Great question.
there are a lot of other areas they are not doing well in right
You're
now.
right.
Yep.
You're right. Yeah, but that's enough for me. Enough of a sample where they haven't allowed a single big game to a tight end. The closest was 12 points. I mean,
Do you, off the top of your head, remember the list of tight ends that they had played to just sort of give us some context around were they good guys or not good guys?
Travis
in this
Kelce
position?
is one of them. We
Yes.
played Mark Andrews and not Isaiah Lecky, but Mark Andrews all
Andrews.
the way back in week 1.
Yep.
They have played the Patriots. There's Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry.
There. They
Played the
lost to
Dolphins.
last week. So
Maybe it was
Dolchich.
Waller, but probably
Just
Dolchich.
last week for you.
the Jets, Hunter Henry had 7. Jeremy Ruckert actually caught a 5-yard touchdown, so he got to 8. So that's one of the exceptions here. That's the only touchdown scored by a tight end against them. Was
Is Jeremy Ruckert?
Hunter Henry had 7. Juwan Johnson in week 4 when he was playing well
He
had
was doing
6.
Playing
Jadavian
well
Sanders
again.
5. Kyle Pitts held to 5. Greg Dulcich,
Wow.
the legendary Greg Dulcich last week had just 3 points. You mentioned Mark Andrews and Mason Taylor both had 2 points. So yeah, I mean it's not like they faced a
Not huge
Ray
names.
McBride and Brock Bowers and all these guys, but there's a couple decent names on there, and they've all kind of held them below what they normally do.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
what we're looking for.
All right, Field Yates, I'm going to let you go next.
Start or sit anybody. Oh, actually, before we move to this, are you going to be bringing up Bucky Irving / Chris Godwin?
I will not. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't think either of them is going to.
Doesn't feel like it.
Okay, yeah, but
We're
they're.
at least a week away from either of those guys being back.
But we should point out they are limited in a practice.
Limited
so
in
there's
practice,
a
yes.
chance. There's at least a chance.
Yep.
Start or sit anybody who plays running back for the Cardinals this week.
Ugh.
Pass.
Probably sit.
So let's just work through some of the dynamics in play here. Last week, when this team was spanked by the Seahawks, Bam Knight led the backfield with 36 snaps played. He also started the game.
He did.
Amari DiMercado played 32 snaps.
Not his name.
Amari DiMercado at
Thank
32
you.
snaps, so not that far behind Bam Knight. Bam Knight is on the injury report right now. He has been limited in back-to-back days because of an ankle injury. If he does play, I think this makes us kind of a cross-off all the way through. It is worth noting, though, that if Bam Knight does not play, it probably means Amari DiMercado earns a start. And I wanted to just give a little bit of love to Amari because when you look at his career stats, you're like, oh my gosh, how is this guy not playing more? He has 108 carries in his career.
Okay.
That's a decent sample size. It's not 5,000, 500, I guess I should say. But how many yards per carry do you think he averages on those 108 attempts?
3.2.
4.6.
Okay, you guys are both wrong by a lot. He's averaging 6.9 yards per
No,
attempt.
he's not.
What?
Amari DiMercado is
No
averaging
way.
6.
I need to verify
Check it.
this. I don't even believe
He's
it.
at
I don't believe it.
9 in back to, I think he's at 9 this year and 9 last year as well. The sample size is small within each year, but go check it out, Mike, and you are going to be blown away by
What did you say it was?
6.9 and 108.
6.9 yards
That's
per carry.
nice.
Isn't that crazy?
Nine or higher the last two. Actually, last year he had 24 carries for 223 yards. This year, so far, he's 26 for 233.
Yeah.
It's almost the exact same. stat line.
Unbelievable.
He's an explosive player. Would he have your interest at all if Bam Knight was out? Or
Yeah.
okay,
If no Bam Knight.
if no Bam Knight.
Yeah, if Bam Knight goes, I would still prefer him. He had a little edge in routes, and they were even in targets last week. But how'd the Niners do against the run? Wait, they're playing the Niners, right?
Yes, they are.
How'd they do against the run last week?
They played against the Rams, right? They
Oh, no,
lost
wait.
that
I'm
one.
looking at the wrong team. Never
Okay,
mind.
yeah.
Wait a minute. Michael.
Wow. Computer
That's
broke.
wrong. Oh,
Computer broke.
see.
There's a bug.
Dang
There's a
it,
bug.
guys.
America, there's a
No,
bug.
I was looking at the Bills. Darn it. Okay.
well.
But how'd they do against the run last week? It still works.
Not very
All right,
good.
still works.
22.4 to Kyron Williams, who they allowed 31 to earlier this season. So, yeah, the Niners, that's what the point I was trying to get to is the Niners were not too afraid of their
We
defense.
are not afraid of that defense. If Amari DiMercado starts, I think he moves into flex consideration.
Agreed.
I think Michael Carter probably would play a role, maybe a hefty one at that as well. There's a part of me that wonders if part of the reason why Amari never plays a feature role is just that he's doing a lot of other things for them on special teams, and he's the kind of guy that they just want to use in small doses. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I don't know if it's a must win because this team probably is out of the playoff picture either way, but 3-6, they really could use a win on Sunday in the division.
And we should mention Trey Benson not designated to return just yet, I believe. So
He has not been.
Yeah, so that's a sign that this is not the week. Maybe next week, though. Usually if a guy gets designated to return early in the week, that's a good sign they have a shot to come back and play that week. That is not the case yet for Benson.
It's an if-then statement for me. If there is no Bam Knight, then play Amari DiMercado. If there is Bam Knight, I'm probably going a different direction with only 2 teams on a bye. I think there's a big enough player pool that I could find another player I like more.
So because Bam Knight's been limited in back-to-back days, my guess is he'll come in as questionable this afternoon.
They're not
I don't
going to make
think
it easy.
We'll probably get the clarity by by Sunday morning.
Sunday
not
morning on
by
FF Now.
Friday afternoon. Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of the Arizona Cardinals, I thought we talked about this a little earlier in the week. Mike wasn't able to be here, so I thought I would bring it back. What is the outlook for Jacoby Brissett against the
Cardinals
49ers? Last 4 games. Here's what he's done. 20.7, 19.7, 24.8, and 19.4. Mike, you put out this thing. Yes, Field Yates.
I wanted people to know, I dug this up myself, that only one quarterback has finished top 12 over each of the past 4 weeks.
Really?
That must be like Josh Allen or someone like that.
But I dug
Matthew
this up.
Stafford.
It was only
that's what-
me. Yeah, I am fully responsible for digging this stat up. Keep guessing.
I'm out of options.
Okay, Jacoby Brissett.
What? No way. That's
Welcome,
impossible.
America.
Wow.
Yeah, I worked hard on that
No
one.
way.
So every game over the last month of the season, he has been a top 12 quarterback. Now, we already know there's going to be no Marvin Harrison Jr. this week, so we'll dive into that. But what I really wanted to do is look at the matchup. I'm actually really glad you brought to check this out, Mike, because that's one of my favorite segments you do this year. It's like you bring a lot of creativity and stuff like that. So I decided I wanted to talk with our producer, Tyler, and we decided to be able to make a segment as well, which was fun because you brought so much creativity. I thought, why not? Why don't we do that? So I didn't use the word groundbreaking. The people working on it used the word groundbreaking when we were doing this segment. I don't know if you ever saw the movie The Matrix back in the 1900s.
Never heard of it.
But that's sort of what I think this segment is going to be for fantasy football with the way that we do that. I showed it to Jimmy and Burke Magnus. They said more of that. So I would love it if you guys could
Bob Iger, though? Come on, man.
check out this.
Check out this.
Hey, man, check out this.
Hey, yo, check out this. Check out this.
It's time to check out this.
So that's why you brought all them props.
When'd
These
you
are
do
some of the
that?
exact same props I use.
We
That's
did
so
that
funny.
2 days ago when I brought in all
Yeah, I
the
remember
props,
that,
and
yeah.
Mike saw it and called me on it. I was like, oh, we're just going to tape a different segment. However, I want you guys to check out this.
Okay, let's see.
Check out this list of quarterbacks that have played the San Francisco 49ers recently, because when you look at what they have done, it has been great for opposing quarterbacks. Since Week 5, the last 6 quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford scored 25.5 points. Baker Mayfield, 19.6. Michael Penix with the dud, 12.2. Then C.J. Stroud, 21.7. Jackson Dart, 27.2. And Matthew Stafford, 26.9. 3 straight quarterbacks have scored at least 21.5 fantasy points, and 5 of the last 6 have scored 19.6 or more, with the only dud, honestly, being a guy that we've seen put up duds this year, which is Michael Penix. So, my question to you guys is, with the fact that he's been a top 12 quarterback for 4 straight weeks, going up against a defense that you've seen quarterbacks have done well with, and when you look at no Marvin Harrison Jr., I just want to throw this out there real fast. Marvin Harrison Jr., we've loved that he's gotten him more involved from a volume perspective, but 3 of his last 4 games are 2 for 32, 2 for 58, and 3 for 33.
Yeah. Even that was on 12 targets at 3 for 33.
Correct. And he found the end zone in that game, so he had more fantasy points. But it's not like he was all of a sudden like getting 10 catches from this guy for 100 yards.
Yep.
He was still doing some stuff without it. So against this matchup, is he a startable quarterback for you guys in Week 11? I have him as quarterback, I believe, 12 after Thursday
But
Night
here's the
Football.
problem. What you're not telling people is that you're going on a trip this weekend.
I am.
Right? You're out. Can I say you're
Sure, go ahead.
out on,
darkness
you're out on
retreat.
Sunday?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not going to be
You're
there
gonna
on
have to-
Sunday.
The reason is because you were playing wide receiver for the Cardinals. We know
needed
that.
somebody.
That's even better than a darkness retreat joke.
Yeah, I mean, because
I
they
am
are
flying out to
very
Arizona.
short-handed. That's the concern here. As Field would point out, as he said yesterday, Trey McBride might need 20 targets in this one, which might not be a stretch. If you're like, yeah, he had 19 targets in this one, we'd be like, yeah, that checks out. That's exactly what we.
I don't make
what
those
we
jokes anymore.
You stopped. Yeah, after Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers had 1 catch.
You're not allowed to make them. So
where do you
that's
guys
a
have
concern. But anyway, I was making a joke there. I'm still optimistic against his defense. I'm at 11.
11.
So he's still
Okay.
very much on the fringe of streamable.
All right, I like it.
Can I riff on something here for a second and related to Brock
Absolutely.
Bowers? Chip Kelly, who I think is very, very talented coach. I thought he was one of the great innovators of the last 20 years in football. Truly have enjoyed watching him play for a long time, or coach for a long time. Sometimes when I read or listen to the quotes he has to explain some of the stuff going on with their offense right now, it makes me want to pull Daniel's hair out. Not my own hair, because that would be painful.
That'd be tough,
Yeah. Like on Brock Bowers, like coming into the season, it was like, yeah, like you got to make sure you don't put too much wear and tear on these guys. Ashton Genty as well. And I'm like, dude, you don't draft a running back 6th overall unless you want to make him an absolute workhorse, right? Like the best 4 years of that guy's career might
Should be the first 4.
So it's okay to lean heavily into Ashton Genty. He has largely done that, but it's like the Brock Bowers game. It's like, yeah, we're looking for him, and Pete Carroll might have been on this as well. Like we're trying to get ways. It's not due to lack of effort to get the ball to Brock Bowers. I'm like, I don't think there was very much effort last Thursday night. Anywho, I digress.
There aren't very many running backs that have that, the second half of their career is stronger than the beginning of their career.
It's like
Devontae
Raheem
Williams.
Mostert. Oh,
Yeah, Raheem.
Derrick Henry may have been that just because he had DeMarco Murray in front of him, but it's not because he wasn't good as a running
Oh
back.
wait, he
when
had
was-
Deion Lewis too. Remember they were.
That's true.
Tennessee,
Yeah, they had
were
3 of
just
them there.
splitting backfields. Actually, that was the Vrabel era, right? So that was the same thing. That was some of the
Vrabel
that
and
was
Arthur
some of the
Smith.
pushback on Trevion Henderson. The people that were the detractors in the offseason was, hey, well, they held back Derrick Henry his first 3 years, and I don't know.
we'll
Maybe
see.
we're seeing that.
We got a quick question from our tag board. People in our YouTube chat wanted to be able to throw this at us. Kyle Lilly wants to know, how does this affect Mike Clay's legacy having
Great
a new
question.
segment called Check Out This?
that's a great question, Kyle.
That could have been about me losing starts of the week 4 weeks in a row.
Could have been about a lot of
it could have
things
been-
about you.
It could be a lot of
Weeks
things.
in a
be
row.
honest.
Wow, Kyle, that's a great point. You raised some really great points there, Kyle.
Yeah, it's been
Do
tough.
you have a legacy anymore?
I don't know. I think let me see. Let me check here. I do. I have a text from Andy Behrens, the president of the
FSWA.
SWA. He said they're considering revoking my Hall of Fame nod from last year.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Not
tough.
good.
Wow, nice.
It's tough. Do you also have a stat there too? You want to start like X Behrens.
Yes, the
FFB
stat
or
is
something,
Andy
or-
Behrens has only removed one Hall of Famer in the history of the
Hall of Fame?
FSWA.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, and it'll be Mike Clay. Why don't you give us
All
your
right.
next one, Mike Clay?
All right, I'll try to reestablish a new legacy.
That's right.
With a guy who's trying to wait. Which one am I on here? I got to go in order. It's important. Yeah,
Kate
okay,
Otten.
a guy
You
that's starting
have
to.
anything on Kate Otten or no?
I don't. But I have a guy that's starting his own legacy up in Seattle now. Rashid Shaheed.
Oh, yeah?
I want to talk about his outlook a little bit.
Let's talk about it.
Look, just played 18 of 59 snaps in his Seattle debut. So you might think, oh, that's not good at all. But it was a game script issue. They called, count them, 13 pass plays into that game because they were just blowing them out early on. DeMarcus Lawrence had the 2 touchdowns, and it was just a blowout from the beginning. So 13 called passes in that game. Here
How many- can I ask how many were in the second half?
It went like 8-2 by quarter, 8-2-1-0, something like that. It was or 9-2-1-0, something like that.
So it's
I don't think they called pass in the fourth quarter. It might have been one play.
maybe passed less than like 3 times in the entire second half, possibly.
Oh yeah, it was 2 to 3 pass attempts in the entire second.
That's gross. All right,
It was
keep
only.
going.
I mean, again, it was only a handful after the first quarter that they called pass. Not joking.
unreal.
If you unblock me on Twitter, you could.
I'll be able
on
to
X,
see
you
that.
could see
Okay,
that.
got it.
But anyway,
Twitter.
X.
We don't call
Sorry.
it X.
That's right. That's right.
It's Twitter.
It's Twitter. Got it. So anyway, those 13 pass plays that they called, here were their pass routes run.
All right.
JSN 11,
Okay.
Cooper Kupp 9,
Yep.
Rashid Shaheed 8. So when they were calling pass and the game was competitive, which was for like 5 minutes, he was obviously very involved in the passing game. And if that game script was different, he obviously would have played a substantially larger role in this game. So not too worried about that. What I am worried about is this is a reminder that this is not the Saints offense, the fast moving, lot of play offense. This is the lowest volume, extremely run heavy offense. And in fact, Sam Darnold is averaging 25.3 pass attempts per game this season, 25 per game. The Saints, while Shaheed was there, averaged 35.0 per game. This is 10 pass attempts per game difference, and that's probably not going to change much going forward. It'll, obviously game script will be a variable here, but that's just something you have to keep in mind when evaluating Rashid Shaheed. Also, they're playing the Rams. Good.
Is this because they have been ahead so much they haven't had to play as much on
That's
offense
part of
this
it,
year?
but that's going to be a part of it is scheme. We know they want to run the football.
Strength of schedule second half of the season, is it as easy as it's been for them? Or is it
I need to. I don't know,
Okay.
but I'll look. Well,
that
let's
up.
start. How about let's talk about this matchup because they're playing the Rams, so it's
Deal.
not easy.
Not a good
This
one
week
here.
against the Rams. Second fewest fantasy points. Third lowest EPA against the pass. They're top 10 in catches and yards to receivers, but only 6 touchdowns allowed to that position this year. She'd actually played them a couple weeks ago when he was on the Saints. He had 5 for 68, so a decent day.
not bad.
I have him projected for 9.5 points. I have him as a 12-team league, unideal flex, an unappealing flex, but I think that's where he's going to be going forward. He's going to be kind of on that flex radar in deeper leagues. It's just going to be a tough situation in this low volume offense, but maybe they are behind in this one. Maybe this is a rare game where they're trailing and he gets a few extra targets. But he's going to be boom bust, I think.
I just want to say it took 1.5 quarters for me to realize that my dream of Torrey Horton doing things this year has just completely been replaced by Rashid Shaheed. So in Dynasty and Keeper Leagues, maybe you have something for the future, but anything you were hoping for that kid, it just feels like it's going to be the Rashid Shaheed show.
And he was out. I mean, he was out for that one, but
it's going to be his role.
traded for Rashid Shaheed.
It's correct.
I don't think this is a situation where Cooper Kupp just doesn't play. No, I think he'll fall behind Shaheed in the pecking order.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, but I don't know that it's going to matter. Like they might both be useless in fantasy, honestly.
I was also talking to some sources out there in Seattle, for those that are wondering, and they did tell me that because they're now 8-2, 7-2. I think they're 8-2. Yeah, they're 8-2. Is that obviously with the playoffs on the mind, they're thinking long term. So they're just basically like they're giving Bobo rest right now.
That makes sense.
Because they have a long run ahead, so they're going to save him. Like he might be a week 15 to Super Bowl type player.
Okay.
But for now, focus on special teams.
So not a fantasy playoffs guy, but maybe like a DFS as they're making a deep run through this.
They're still
Stop tricking people.
7-1 with him.
Okay.
They are 7-2.
7-2.
But they're 7-1 with Bobo on the field. Or Bobo available. He missed week 1.
Understood.
Yeah. All right. How about the other side of that game? Field Yates?
Yes, Matthew Stafford. I think this is maybe the biggest fantasy question mark of the week, not involving A.J. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Because A.J. Brown, it's going to be how does it look? But who's the hottest quarterback in the NFL right now?
How do you bench
Jacoby
Matthew
Brissett.
Stafford?
Probably Matthew Stafford. It's close between him and Jacoby Brissett. But Matthew Stafford, over his last 3 starts, 27.04 fantasy points per game. That's first amongst the quarterbacks. I know Mike has been using who's the only top 12 quarterback over each of the past 4 weeks. It would have included Matthew Stafford, but they were on a bye for one of those weeks.
I'm just counting their last 4 starts.
Okay.
But if you did move that threshold to 13,
Yeah.
I believe he would qualify. His last 4 were all top 13.
But his last 3 games, 27.38 fantasy points, 26.84 fantasy points, 26.9 fantasy points. He's quarterback 4 in terms of points per game this season. The Seahawks defense, though, is a much stiffer test than the Jaguars, the Saints, and the 49ers, who he has faced over those last 3 games. 3 quarterbacks total have reached 19.7 fantasy points against the Seahawks. Technically, only one of them has actually surpassed 20, but it speaks to the point that this is like a low ceiling matchup for most quarterbacks this year. 2 weeks ago, Jaden Daniels, before he got hurt, and that was late in the game, had just 153 passing yards. And obviously with Matthew Stafford, we're not focused on the running ability. CJ Stroud, 3 games ago, that was that Monday night game where they got it going late when they were down 27-13. They had like a touchdown at the 2:10 mark or something. He had just 229 passing yards. Over the past 4 games, the Seahawks have allowed 5 passing touchdowns. That was a lot of stats right there to make the point that this defense is very good. Is Matthew Stafford one of those players that it doesn't matter whether we rank him 1, 15, 100, you're just starting him, or is there a scenario in which you would bench Matthew Stafford?
I would like to start him. I have him at 8th in this one. This is also a situation where, and you have to consider both of these things, where the Seahawks have allowed the 14th most fantasy points to quarterbacks, but the 3rd fewest over expected. So they're very, very effective. But that means teams have to throw the ball a lot against them, and you build up counting stats the more pass attempts you're facing. So that could be the situation for Stafford. Maybe he's not as efficient. Maybe he throws 1 less touchdown, but maybe he has to attempt 41 passes in this one and still get you there fantasy-wise. So I have him top 8.
1 less touchdown means he only throws 3 touchdown passes in the game.
Well, I mean, that's kind of my point. Yeah, he might get 2 or 3 and throw for 302 yards, and you're fine.
It feels like tempting fate to not play Matthew Stafford.
I don't want to start him. I love starting Matthew Stafford this week.
Whoa, really?
That is where I am at. There's no way that with the run that this guy is on, 4 straight games with 4 or more touchdowns, with the 2 wide receivers that he has. I get that it's one of these matchups, but with the way Stafford is playing, there's no way I could play someone over him right now in my fantasy quarterback spot.
I don't disagree with that. I would just say that what would be...
Maybe we're going to temper some expectations.
If he gets 14 fantasy points on Sunday, you guys aren't going to be totally stunned, are you?
No. By the way, to put a number on what I just said, the Seahawks have faced the 2nd most to pass attempts, allowed the 2nd most completions, but have allowed the 11th most yards and only 13 passing touchdowns, which is 20th. Their YPA, completion percentage, both among the best in the NFL. So, I mean, they've been pretty good against the pass. Not elite, but pretty good against the pass, but the volume piles up when you're ahead. So,
Yep. Agreed.
Let's see if he can make it 4 for 4. 4 touchdowns in 4 straight games. How good would that be? All right, I'm going to talk about another quarterback really quickly. We have not seen Brock Purdy in a minute, and he is going to get the start
glad you brought this up. Yeah, I wrote this on my note to make sure we talk about it.
He has only played 2 games so far this year, 16. The matchup is not great this year. Only 2 quarterbacks have topped 16.1 fantasy points against them this season. Last 3 quarterbacks. Jordan Love.
Cardinals.
Against Cardinals, yes. 13.2, 15.4, and 4.9. Those are the last 3 quarterbacks to play the Arizona Cardinals. Now you get a guy in Brock Purdy who hasn't played since week 4, week 6? Week 4, I have it on my note here.
I believe it
He
was
only played, 3 games
4.
or something?
Played 2 games. And it has been not great. So how do you feel about Brock Purdy basically playing his first game in almost 6 weeks against what is a pretty good defense right now against opposing quarterbacks, knowing he doesn't have the full roster at his disposal? Ricky Pearsall was limited. There is a chance that he may be able to go this week.
He's going to start, yeah.
And so it feels like we might have a little bit more. But how are you guys feeling about Brock Purdy? We haven't seen him in a while.
Fringe top 12 option for me this week. The matchup is not ideal. That being said, the offensive system is great, right? Mac Jones has experienced this incredible resurgence because of the system he plays in San Francisco. Obviously, him playing very well as well has contributed to that. But it's a very fantasy-friendly system as far as throwing is concerned. I will be interested to see if Brock adds anything with his legs. Coming off of this toe injury, he's never been this super elite runner, but he's one of those guys kind of like where J.J. McCarthy has been so far this season, where it's like he could definitely get you 25 rushing yards in a game, which might be enough to account for the difference between being quarterback 15 and maybe quarterback 11 or 12. He has 4 interceptions in 2 starts this season.
And a fumble.
Yep. So he has to,
So
or
5
maybe
turnovers.
4 or 5 turnovers already this season. So he has not even reached 19 fantasy points in either of those 2 starts. But this is a good player, an established player in a good offense, Mike. I think he's close to being a startable quarterback.
Yeah, by efficiency metrics, he's been the best quarterback in the NFL essentially the last 2 years. I mean, he's just off the charts in basically every category. So, yeah, I mean, I've said this all season long. I believe he's better than Mac Jones, and I would have been surprised if they didn't go back, at least give Purdy a shot now for a few games. Look, if he comes back and he plays like he did those first 2 games and is turning it over, not playing at that level, then they have an opportunity to make the change and go back. They have an excuse to do it and say, look, we're going to go with Mac Jones for now. But you know, if it's 1 versus 1 and they're both healthy, I'm giving it to Brock Purdy. He's earned that. I mean, there's a reason they paid him so much. So I'm optimistic about him for himself, his fantasy stock. I think he'll be back in the QB1 conversation, and certainly for the skill guys around him.
I want to correct something, because sometimes when I don't know what topics are coming, I use memory to try to recall where a player was ranked. I have Brock Purdy inside my top 10, not
Oh, nice.
of my top
I'm at 10.
12.
I'm at
So,
10.
Yes.
I believe I've got him at
Quarterback 12, according to the graphic up there.
I've got him at either 13 or 14 right now.
Maybe after removing Drake May last
Drake May, he may have moved up 1, but there is a part of me that's still just like, you haven't played quarterback in the NFL since week 4. I know it's not like you forgot how to do it, but I would like to see it because it is a tough matchup.
I mean, you probably don't need to start him.
You don't need
because you
to.
haven't. But
2 teams
been
on
using
bye.
him for a long time,
Yep.
so the odds that you need him, especially with a bunch of streaming options too, like we
There are some
mentioned,
good
Brissett
streams.
and Tua this week. I mean,
Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, there's only 2 teams on a bye. Like it's ideally he's on your bench for this week against Arizona.
Probably don't need Brock Purdy, but I do need you to tell me your next player, Mike.
My next one is we're going to talk about the Washington running back situation because
That'll do
it
it.
seemed like a little bit. Yeah, that's it. We're done.
That's it.
Start no one. But let's talk about it just briefly here because there's been so much Jacoby Brissett hype, and we keep. It's like on to the next week. Don't bench him. Don't start him this week, but you know,
Maybe next
at
week.
some point he'll break out. But we saw a little bit of a change from Washington last week. Although then we saw another change in the second half. So let's talk about it. He left last week's game in the 3rd quarter with the shoulder injury. But if you look at the beginning of the game, he played 7 of the first 9 offensive snaps. Jerry McNichols actually played the other 2 before JCM even saw the field. So it was the 10th snap of the game where JCM was even on the field. In total, Rodriguez played 17 of 25 first half snaps. Then they come out in the second half. JCM played 8 straight snaps to open the second half. Then Rodriguez came in for his first snap and got injured, and he was gone with the shoulder injury. He is full in practice. We expect him to go this week. If he is somehow out, JCM played 10 snaps to 9 for Jeremy McNichols. The 3 running backs total in that game had 14.5 fantasy points. None cleared 30 yards. Krosky Merritt has been under 6 fantasy points in 6 straight games now. The only reason that there's some hint of maybe optimism here is they're playing Miami, 4th most yards, 4.9 yards per carry to running backs. But guys, there's no clarity here on this one.
The bloom
And-
is off the rose for Bill Krosky Merritt.
And by the way, even if, let's just say Rodriguez is that guy and he comes out, I know the second half was a little different, but let's say he is the lead back and he's playing 60-some% of the snaps. All he does is carry the ball. I don't think he's a single target this whole season. He's never been involved in the passing game. So best case scenario, maybe you get 14 carries, a rushing touchdown, and maybe 1 target from him. So, and that's him at the lead back role. Yeah. So this is a situation to avoid. I don't think any of these guys need to be rostered. Maybe Rodriguez on the end of your bench, but that's it. I mean, it's a rough go there.
And they've been so remarkably unlucky with health this year. I wonder what kind of season Austin Eckler would be having if he was still available for them right now. Because Bill has not done anything to take this job and make it entirely his own. Eckler could be a top 12 running back right now if he was on the field.
They could use too? Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, you want to go next field?
I'm done.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're done. You're all set. All right.
Who starts the week?
All right.
You done too?
Let's do this. No, I got one more.
Oh, all right. Let's hear it.
I think Khalil Shakir is a solid flex play this week.
All right.
If he plays limited practice on Wednesday and Thursday with an ankle and a rib injury, he has definitely been dealing with some stuff. So we're hoping to see a full practice on Friday. If he doesn't go, obviously, then we're going to go a different direction. But a couple things to note just in case he does play. Over the last 3 weeks, he leads all wide receivers with 20 receptions.
Wow.
since week 8, which is unbelievable to me. Only wide receiver 21 in fantasy points per game, 14.97. He doesn't always do a lot with it, but he is a trusted target within this offense. And Tampa Bay, I've said this before, they just give up so many fantasy points to wide receivers. I wanted you guys to look at the last 4 teams that have played him. New England Patriots, 3 players, Stephon Diggs, Mac Hollins, and Kyle Williams all had 14 fantasy points against him. The Saints, both Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed had over 14 fantasy points against him. Amon-Ra St. Brown had over 20 fantasy points, and Kendrick Bourne had 19.2 fantasy points. So in these offenses where you've only got one guy, which in that Detroit Lions offense, it really was just Amon-Ra. They weren't using JMO at that point. And with the 49ers game with Kendrick Bourne, he was the only wide receiver there. Other than that, they've been spreading it around against this secondary can absolutely be taken advantage of. So Khalil Shakir, I feel like often falls in that boy, I don't feel good to use him in the flex radar for me more often than not. But this week, with the way that he's been utilized over the last month of the season and with the matchup that he has, I think that he is a usable flex option if you need him in week 11.
Yeah, I'm at 25 playing Tampa.
There we go.
And the only thing is you're just not going to get touchdowns. Rarely will you get touchdowns.
Rarely.
They just don't use him in that area.
When you do, it's a 50-yarder.
And we know Jackson Haas. In
Yeah,
the end zone.
Right, baby.
That's it.
Let's go.
My guy.
I am not saying this because it dramatically varies the value here of Khalil Shakir. Apparently, we have a little bit of weather watch up there in Buffalo this week. It's going to be rainy and windy. By the way, it is now week 11. Buffalo, we are basically on weather watch for every home
The
game
rest
going.
yeah, here on out. No Dalton Kincaid in that one, which we already knew. That's why you took Jackson Hawes as your long shot. Another tight end I just want to mention really quickly, Sam Laporta has not practiced yet this week.
Yeah.
Back-to-back.
Watch that today.
Back injury.
That's going to be a big one. So Brock Wright might be the next man up in that
He
tight
would be
end
a good
core.
Raheem Sanders.
He
pick.
would be.
I had him last week.
Never mind that. I take that
Yeah.
back. We're trying to not make the same selection twice.
Yes, at least not like in back-to-back weeks. We want to give a little bit of space in between there. But no no Sam Laporta through Wednesday and Thursday. Friday is going to be a big one. Anyone else on the practice report? There wasn't as many guys missing practice this week that it felt like we needed to mention as we have in previous weeks.
Big question marks. Lamar Jackson returned to practice in full yesterday. He is good to go there. So off the top of my dome,
So
Tyler and I
Isaiah
went through it
Pacheco's
last night.
not going. He's not going to play.
Pacheco,
No, you
Darius
mentioned
Slayton back-to-back days without a hamstring or without participating in practice because of a hamstring. I think he still has his hamstring. DJ Moore says he is. When asked if he's going to play, he said, "Duh." So he will play on Sunday.
There you go. All right. Let's dive into our starts of the week. As a reminder, we've got some new rules,
Yeah, new
and
rule.
we have Field gets to do a punishment here. I'm going to start with the punishment first. First and foremost, the punishment is because Field came in first place, Mike came in last place. Field gets to replace one of Mike's. Do you get to replace it with the player you choose, or you just make him replace it?
I get to say, "Hey, Mike, you can't actually use that wide receiver."
So you're going to axe one of your players, and you're going to have to pick someone else.
He came to the table with, I believe, at least one player at each position.
I did.
The other new rule this week, and
That's
Mike
right.
is the brains behind this rule, is we have a wild card player that you can use once a week. This player cannot be top 5 at any position, but he can be inside the thresholds that we have previously established. So for quarterbacks, you could be quarterback 6 through 10. You can't be 1 through 5. For wide receivers, 6 through 30. Running backs, 6 through 20. Tight ends, 6 through 10. You can use your wild card a total of twice at each position.
Correct.
For the rest of the year, because we have 8 weeks left, including this week. I am
weeks
not
left.
going to make Mike repick his wild card.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm gonna let him. So
you can if you want, but I would.
Okay,
you can
can't
pick
prepare.
whatever you want.
All right, well then, never mind.
I have a backup. I have a backup wild card too. So whatever.
Really?
Best in the business.
That's so weird. Yeah,
that was
usually
a
don't
real
come prepared.
punishment. Was that I had to prepare more.
Yeah,
Like, it's not just picking one
twice
start of the
their
week.
prep.
But yeah, anyway, the wild card idea was like instead of us just picking guys that are near these thresholds every week, we can shake it up a little bit, and we each can pick a wild card at the different positions, because sometimes there's those guys where you're like, oh man, they have a really good matchup, but they're like wide receiver 27 or something, and you're like, oh, I've been talking about him all week on the show. I really want him, and then we can't pick him for start of the week. It kind of defeats the purpose of start of the week. So having that wild card makes it fun.
I
Definitely
also
some strategy involved.
I like the idea of we're mostly trying to pick flex plays for you guys outside the normal, starting roster. But I like the idea of us being able to plant a flag on a player that we say we think is going to do well this
And that's
year,
the
or
spirit
this
of
week.
this. It's not just pick
Correct.
quarterback 6 every week.
Don't just pick
or
CMC or JT every week.
That'll be the case sometimes when the matchup's great and we want that guy. But there's strategy to when do you
Absolutely.
deploy a wild card at each position.
After we do this, I thought of a bonus topic we should address involving an injury.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You want me to start?
Yep, you start.
All right. I am going to go with my quarterback, as I often do, because I'm a man of the people. We are going with Tua as the real deal player of the week. That is going to be my quarterback as well, living with the people. And I'm just going to skip right to my wild card because I'm going to stack Tua with Jalen Waddell this week.
Wow.
I am pumped about the stack, taking on the, the Commanders.
Yes.
Do they even have a secondary
Nope,
in week 11?
Los
their top 2
Comendores.
That's
Because they're playing in Barcelona this week. No, Madrid.
Yes, they are. Madrid.
right.
That's right. At the running back spot, I am going to go, and I feel like this was a chalky situation, but Woody Marks taking on the Tennessee Titans in a really good spot. And I am going to live and die by famous Jameis with my tight end position, Theo Johnson.
Nice.
All right.
Sign me up. So I got a couple of Dolphins, Woody Marks, and Theo Johnson as my starts of the week. Field Yates.
Okay, well, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I feel a little bit worse about my picks based off some of the things that have been said on the show today. But I like to show respect to greatness, to future Hall of Famers. Let's start with Joe Flacco at quarterback.
Like it.
Outside the top 10. He, of course, plays the Steelers. The last time these two teams played, he went nuts. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers went nuts as well in that game. My wild card pick is at running back this week. It's Javonte Williams. They face the Raiders on Monday Night Football. That game is in Vegas. We know that Raiders defense has really, really struggled pretty much in every way all season. I am not stacking these players, but I would have been stacking them if this was 8 weeks ago when they were still teammates. My wide receiver pick, Jerry Jeudy, Mike's guy. Back on track here. They play the Ravens this weekend. Of note, Ravens, no Marlon Humphrey, one of their top corners. I don't know how much Jeudy he would have seen, but a little bit of shuffling of the deck at corner.
Okay.
Last but not least, but perhaps least, given Mike's thoughts earlier, my tight end is Kate Hutton.
Tough one. All right. Ready?
He was really excited about his K-Dot pick for the first 80% of your analysis.
Maybe I'll be the first one to have a good game.
Maybe
Against the Bills. We'll see.
All right.
Ready?
And a reminder, we get to our field gets to replace one of these. So let's see what your starts of the week are, Mike.
So my quarterback is Tua Tagovailoa against Washington.
Okay.
And I will skip ahead to my wild card because it's a stacking opportunity with Jalen Waddle.
No, it's not.
We're on the same page. I was getting nervous that we were going to have all the same guys. My running back is different, though. I'm going R.J. Harvey.
That was the topic I wanted
that
to
was
address.
A good one. Yeah, we'll dive into that. That's
R.J. Harvey at running back against the Kansas City Chiefs. They've been good against running backs, but Harvey should be busy in this one.
Yep.
And then tight end is good old Zach Ertz. And the other side of that Miami-Washington game at tight end. So
I would like to make you repick your wild card because I want some variance between you two.
I love that we added the wild card element so we could pick players and we choose the exact same guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No doubt about it. So it's funny. Theo Johnson was my backup at tight end.
Oh, really?
I'll tell you what my backups were for all of them. And I'll save the wild card for last. But Brock Purdy would have been my quarterback.
Okay.
Talk about him.
Like that.
Woody Marks. So we were very close having the exact same lineup.
Yeah, wow.
Woody Marks is my backup at running back. But my backup wild card is a pretty good one. It is a guy I have ranked a couple spots lower than Waddle. So this fits with you punishing me in a way. I'm going, but he's still good. Nico Collins. Playing the Titans. I mean, great matchup this week for Nico Collins. Yep. So, I considered, that's the fun thing about this strategy is because I was thinking about going Jalen Warren with the wild card, but I wanted to put the stack together with Tua, which you did. It's kind of a little DFS element to it. But no, I'm sorry. I'm good with Nico. I'll take Nico all day. Let's go.
Nico looked great last week, too.
He did. 15 targets last week. I do have to ask one question. In a world in which you guys did pick the exact same players, it would have been basically me versus the two of you.
Yeah.
If I then went on to win start to the week, do you guys both?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we should do. Yeah, we both spin the wheel.
You guys take an ice bath together.
Only Dan's on Sunday morning, guys.
I'm not gonna be there.
I'll tell you. Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Next week.
Man,
that's
but I think we would both spin the wheel.
I think if two people tie for the worst score, that you are both loser punishment eligible.
Okay,
I think that's the way it should work.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So let's dive into the J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey conversation.
So first, let's dive into the news that we have, maybe don't have on J.K. Dobbins. He is yet to practice this week. There was a report, I believe, from the Denver Post earlier in the week that injured reserve was at least a possibility.
Yeah, and once I saw that, I removed him from the projection. That's an indication he's out this week.
Yeah, I think he's going to be out this week as well. The Broncos placed two separate players on IR earlier this week. Neither of them, of course, was J.K. Dobbins. They have a bye next week, so this might be sort of like the Patrick Surtain situation, who was not placed on IR, but because of the fact he's going to miss most likely on Sunday, and the bye next week, he will still be out for 4 weeks, and maybe he returns in week 13. We shall see. Dobbins has not practiced either day. We don't expect him to play today. As of right now, I don't have a feel. Like if you told me he was back in week 13, I might be surprised, but it's possible. Maybe he's back in week 14, but obviously a very telling day tomorrow, because if he is placed on injured reserve tomorrow, that would mean that he is out 11,
5 weeks.
12, 13, 14, 15. You could basically drop J.K. Dobbins because he would be out until week 16 at the earliest.
Yeah, you absolutely can, because he's also a guy we're ranking like 25th every week.
Right, yep.
So it's not like you're
Deeper
missing out on
league.
an RB1. He's an uninvolved in the passing game.
And this is why you have just continued to hold on the rookie running back that is RJ Harvey when he's shown you flashes throughout the season in case a role materialized in the second half.
Yeah.
And now we're in a spot where it feels like not just this week, but we may have RJ Harvey down the playoff stretch being able to give us life that he didn't give us in the regular
The only
season.
thing here is I do expect him to be the lead back. As I picked him for starts this
Yep.
week, so I'm optimistic. He's their biggest back now among the three.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I do expect the other two running backs to play. When they're in obvious passing situations, Tyler Bidet will play. And we know that because he already has, even with J.K. Dobbins there. And Jaleel McLaughlin, he'll be up as well. And they have at times leaned on him in past years. Small running back, so his ceiling's limited, but they'll find ways to get the ball in his hands and allow him to make splashy plays. So expect 3 guys to play, but Harvey, again, biggest back, should get goal line work, you would think. And he's a skilled pass catcher, so he can do it all. So I'm optimistic about him. But again, I don't think it's going to be Trevion Henderson where there's no one else and it's just 90% of the snaps, but maybe 65%. Sure. Totally possible.
Where do you have RJ Harvey with J.K. Dobbins? Let's say J.K. Dobbins officially is ruled out.
I'm at 23, but they're playing the Chiefs too. That's another thing.
Tough matchup.
A very tough matchup. Yeah. But going forward, he's an RB2 as long as Dobbins is out.
I like it.
What a slate of games we have this Sunday, by the way.
Oh,
I'm in
man.
line with Mike, by the way, in terms of how he has those backs ranked. I don't have a great feel for the exact percentage of carries that RJ Harvey will handle, but if he's not the leader in carries on Sunday, we have some serious issues there. Now, what a slate we have. Let's just talk about some of the games that we have on tap. We have Chiefs versus Broncos, which begins at 4:25,
Huge.
which comes 20 minutes after the kickoff to the Seahawks and the Rams game.
Yes.
They have yet to play this season, to play again. Both of those games are the first of 2 upcoming matchups there. Sunday Night Football, your 2 teams. We need to figure out a wager right now.
Lions and Eagles.
Lions,
Did not do this.
Eagles.
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of friendly banter or wager on this game going into Sunday night.
We can figure this out. Could be we like to go out for sushi. Could be
Yeah,
something
we like to do that.
Sushi dinner.
I like that. I like to do it though, like do you like doing the bet where the loser has to pay? I like the winner paying so that the loser gets something because you like.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. You're such
I guess
a nice
I'm a nice guy.
You're
It's,
a nice guy. Man, we have
never even
pen
thought
pals
about
and nice
that.
people all over this
I
show.
don't because like you already got the loss because your team wasn't good.
Well,
so
look,
it's like then you get
Yeah, all right. So if the Eagles win, you buy me dinner, and if the Lions win, you can just buy me dinner.
I'll buy you dinner.
You're the
That's
nice
how that
guy.
works.
You're the nice guy in this scenario. That's okay.
We're in Philly. Do you know what the line is by any chance?
What is the line? Is it 3.5?
Tell you right now.
That's a
over
great
at,
question. While
bet.
Field is looking that up, I would like to say this: the slate of games that you have mentioned is like this week makes me again feel like we should have a bunch of primetime games. Just like put Chiefs Broncos in a primetime slot. Put the Rams
Tuesday
and
night
Seahawks in. Yeah, like give them another. These are all primetime games right now with how these teams are playing.
Eagles are favored by 2.5.
2.5.
Which, by the way, the books typically afford the home team a 1.5. So the books think the Eagles, on balance, are a slightly better team than the Lions.
Yeah, I've noticed home teams a little bit more of an edge over this year than they have the last couple of years. So maybe a little home field advantage building up a little bit more. Just a random side note, but
Do you want to take it straight up then? 2.5 isn't a whole lot. Let's just do straight up.
I think it's a complete toss up. I was thinking about it today because you're like, you have 2 defenses playing very well, and then the Lions offense is outplaying the Eagles, but the Lions have also just had random duds this season as well, where they just disappeared. So I think it's a toss up. I really do.
They did that before they made the play calling change to Dan Campbell. And in Dan Campbell, I trust, just so you know. So I say that the Detroit Lions beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football.
I say the Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board.
All right, loser.
And I get dinner from both of you if they tie.
You come out to sushi with both of us. No matter what, we're good to go either way.
Yeah, if they tie. No, if they tie.
And
You like
winner
the tie?
pays. Winner pays. Is that what we're doing?
I think so. Yeah, winner pays.
Winner pays.
Winner
Got it.
pays.
Okay, I'm down.
I like that. We'll switch it up a little bit. Maybe like a nice bet, a nice guy bet. You know what I mean?
All right.
Nice
So, Anything else we want to dive into really quickly before we get out here I mean, it's week 11. I can't believe that we are already here. The playoffs are going to be on our doorstep in a matter of weeks.
Well, I have one thing. I'm not going to see you till Wednesday now.
It's true, because I'm not going to be doing
happy birthday,
fantasy football now. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
What's the exact date again?
Monday. Technically, it is on Monday, but Mike will not be here on Monday. I'm taking the Sunday show off. My beautiful wife, Rosie, has said, Daniel, why don't you try to get Sunday off? I want to do some stuff with you this weekend. And so I decided to take the day off.
Week 11 bye.
Say it.
You know where we're going yet or no?
I don't know where I'm going.
Okay.
That's fun.
Do you have to pack?
I do not have to pack.
Okay.
No.
So you don't know. Okay. No packing. So it's something local.
It's something local, but it is just something. It's very difficult, as you guys know, like having anything come up in the middle of the football season consistently. Like my birthday being in November is like and it's also right after Veterans Day. It's right before Thanksgiving. So it's a really tough like window. So we don't usually do a lot of stuff for it. But this year, Rosie was just like, I want to do something for it. So we're doing a thing.
Well, everybody wish Daniel a happy 30th.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Yes, I'll take it. I'll take it.
You are. You're
Thank
very
you.
young looking.
I appreciate that.
Full exuberance about you.
Not
as young as when we have your Veterans Day photo.
Dude, that's still
quite young. Yes.
I feel like that's AI at this point. Like that's not even
AI,
me at this point. Big shout out to our buddy Eric Moody, who's been hanging out in chat. Make sure you continue to follow him on social media at Eric and Moody. And we're going to be back on Sunday morning, except for me. You'll be with these two beautiful people. So make sure you come watch them on Fantasy Football Now. But today's show is presented by Little Caesars. Don't forget to love each other. Be kind to yourself. You deserve it. And we'll see you guys, most of us, on Sunday.
Happy birthday, Daniel.
See you guys. Have a great weekend.